And aloha! Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I'm your host on the only program that is by a fan, for the fan, and absolutely about you, the fan.
So are you Guy or Guy?
Ed Danowski.
You're not in Hawaii?
I wish.
To Mr. Gary Younger.
Hi, Guy.
Hey, sir, how are you?
And Brock, how are you doing?
Doing great, sir. Doing great. Honored to have you on the show.
You know, I had the privilege while I was in the forces, in the Canadian Armed Forces, to take the Stanley Cup to Afghanistan. Only hockey fans would deploy to Afghanistan where it's 105 to 135 degrees every day, and they'd take their hockey sweaters and play ball hockey. This is a year for the Leafs. The Leafs are going to win it all this year. One of the players down the line said, "You got to be kidding. The Taliban got a better chance of winning the cup."
That only works if you put yourself in the screen. Aloha. Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. I'm your host on the show that's by a fan, for the fan. And you absolutely know all about you, the fan. So let me redeem myself real quick.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
That's right. Let's go Blues. It's time to talk about some hockey. I'm excited today. Today is a special, special day. Brock, do you know why today's a special day?
I know there's a couple things going on. You tell me.
Let's bring in, we have a third co-host today. Let's bring in our third co-host. This is going to be a fun day. I'm looking forward to this. Ashley, how are you doing today, Ashley?
Great. It's day one of vacation.
Oh, there we go. See, this is the perfect time to get Ashley. Actually, I know somebody who has day one of their vacation starting tomorrow, and that's Tom Franklin from Blue Notes. He's coming out to Hawaii, man. I get to hang out with my buddy tomorrow. That's going to be fun, and that is why there's no show tomorrow, right? He comes in at 3:05, which is 8:05 your time, the time I started today, and the same time that we do the show. So gonna put the show on hold tomorrow. And we may be scaling the show back, not going every day for after this week. We'll kind of, that's something we'll talk about as we go along. Brock, you are frozen in the coolest looking smile I've ever seen. Right, Ashley? He was frozen.
Yes.
Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah. Okay. You guys. Yeah. I was like, what's going on here, man? Anyway, so it happens every time I get on the dang call. I get frozen because my kids have Netflix, iPad, everything going on in the house, and my router, like, you know how it goes anyway. So
I get it, man. I absolutely get it.
To my friend Ashley, she's been such a big supporter of mine and a big fan, even though she mixes it up with me every once in a while. I like that. She's a little feisty, but I want to tell you, I really appreciate your support of the show, and just always being there for us. And we love you like you're one of our own, man, for sure.
Thank you. I love you guys too. That's why I'm always here.
Yeah, we know you do, Ashley. We absolutely know you do. And you're here to us when we're going through some difficult times with the Facebook stuff and that. And you're still here and you're still helping share the show and doing all this. And actually, this is a really good time to bring you on because there's a couple of subjects we can talk about today. First off, this game between Boston and the Islanders has gone into the stratosphere. It is now 5-4 with a minute and 8 left. With the Islanders leading to take a 3-2 lead. I want the Isles to get this empty net goal so bad it's not even funny, because Roland Spinks, who's leading the contest, had the Isles 5, and I can't give up another point to him. Right? If they score another goal, he doesn't get that point, and we have the even points, man. It's crazy the way these things are going. I like the Isles. I really do. I like what they're doing.
I'll tell you, the worst thing you could tell me today is the stupid contest. I've been sticking with Jonathan Marchessault the entire dang year, and I was like, you know what? He ain't giving me nothing. I'm done with this guy. Mark Stone. Boom. Marchessault. Hat trick.
I was laughing so hard. I saw that Marchessault had that hat trick, and I think he had another point. So he ended up having 5 points in the contest. And I'm going, oh man, Brock's gonna kick it up. And then I look and I'm like, he's Rick Stone. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and you know what?
If it makes you feel any better, I picked Stone.
Say again?
Good.
I've been picking Stone a lot. I went for the Avalanche yesterday, so I got nothing, but
yeah.
I would.
Well, you know what? I had a feeling that was I had a feeling that the Knights winning that game 3. I thought the winner of game 3 was going to win this series. I really did. And this way feels like when it goes back tomorrow, I still feel the Knights, even in their building, have the advantage. I really do. The last 2 games, they have basically, in my eyes, almost controlled the Avalanche in ways that the Avalanche haven't been controlled all season. I absolutely love what they're doing. Ashley, can you do me a favor? Can you send a text to somebody very important to us today? I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I have. I've sent that text.
Okay. I'm waiting for them. I really hoping that they get on. Where are we at? Let me see. Oh, also, I'm happy about some other things. Okay, Brock's going to jump out real quick and get his things taken care of. You can't see it, but I finally found a laptop stand that my 17.5-inch laptop will stand on. So it's up higher so I can see it now. Chris Shockley says, let me get my 3M earplugs. Hey, Chris, they didn't work out in the field. I don't think they'll work today. Them things were junk, man. I'm glad the Navy got rid of them so quick. Oh, I'm so glad. Because right when I was coming off the ship is when we were getting them. And they took, it is. Final. Damn it. 5-4. So Roland picks up another point on me. 5-4 Isles. They now lead that series. This is a powerful one. I actually think the Isles finish it in 2 days. I really do. And the other one, the one that's coming on next, is the Winnipeg Montreal. I cannot see Winnipeg coming back from this. I really can't. This Varlamov, 40 saves, and he still gave up 4 goals. That's wow, man. Barzell had a goal and assist, so I got 2 points. But so did Roland, because I think a lot of people had Barzell there.
Going on right now, right? I got 2-1 Montreal right now.
Oh, it's already going? Okay, I didn't know it was going. Wow, man. Is that already happening? Period. Oh yeah, it did start right away, didn't it? I thought it was going to be a little later.
I just turned it on.
Let me see.
Winnipeg just tied it up.
Did they? Oh, I'm like way behind. I got the wrong thing up here. Here we go. Let me get the right thing going. Yep, Winnipeg 2-2 in the second.
They just tied it up just now.
Yep, I just seen it. Oh, nice goal too. That's a good goal. Oh, this is going to be this could turn into being a barn burner. Yeah, Gustafsson and Lehkonen for the Canadians in the first period. Now Stanley, and I didn't see who scored that goal. That was a pretty one though.
Looked like you could have had that one.
Yeah. Okay, so now I know. So we'll hold up on the special thing, and I'm hoping the other person that's going in today will hear us later. We're just going to have a good old time. We're going to talk about two things. And the first thing I want to bring up, I'm so glad you're here, Ashley. We were talking about this on Saturday, and it needed a female perspective, and we didn't have one, and now we've got it. So it's starting to get picked up in the mainstream. One of the Canadian teams, one of the Canadian teams, the OHL, picked a female goalie, the first time they've ever done this, in the 15th round. Do you know what I'm talking about? Right?
I do.
Now, for me, everyone, I felt like it was a little hollow, a little shallow, right? Hey, Windy City's here. I felt like them picking her that late was more of a, oh, look at me type thing. Look what we did. We did this, and it just feels shallow to me.
I think you're overthinking it. No, I think you're overthinking it, because that 16-year-old girl is like living her dream. Like, oh my goodness, I'm the first girl to be picked. Okay. She's got a lot of, growing to do. I don't think it's an insult, because no one else had ever picked a female. So I think it is probably an honor to her. And yeah, it sucks that it took them to the 15th round, but maybe they, didn't have room until they got there.
Yeah, see, that I disagree with. The thing with this pick, and this is why she was not on anybody else's radar, but in AAA, which is the 16 level, under 16 level, right? The highest level, I forget what, in basketball they have like a traveling AAA
AAU,
league. I mean,
AAU, the AAU.
Yeah, that's like the guys that are in AAU are like the guys that are the McDonald All-Stars and things like that. They're going to go. They're either going to college, the top 20 colleges, or they're going to be drafted in a year, right? Or they're going to do that one and done and get drafted. That's where those guys are, and that's what AAA hockey is. In fact, the Blues have the AAA Blues. Our buddy Jim Siegel, it was one of them back in the day. It was called something different, but he was one of them, and that was that level that you were at. And she really did light it up in there, from what I understand. I didn't know about her until this, but she lit it up in there. And if you're gonna do this, this reminded me so much. And I'm not comparing. I'm just saying what it reminded me of. See if I can keep from getting myself in trouble here. Michael Sam in the NFL draft, right? The first, everyone the Rams made a big splash when they took him in the 6th round after he came out and all of this. And it was just, it felt hollow. And then, he was barely in the league. I don't want that from this girl. If you believe in her, take her there's 14 rounds, 15 rounds, whatever it is, take her with the 5th, right? Are you really going to lose somebody in the 5th round? Because they reload every couple of years, right? The major junior goes from 16 to 18.
I think you're overthinking
You could have made a bigger
I really
splash.
think you're overthinking it.
They're kind of
I think
at the end.
Say again?
Brock cut out.
Yeah, Brock did.
I was saying,
what are the chances of a 16th rounder making the league anyway?
Actually, in that league, it's pretty good. Right? Up there, it's pretty good. They've only got. They've only got like 6 or 7 teams. So in all reality, let's compare it to the NHL draft. She'd have been a 7th round pick right towards the end. She was like 270th overall or something like that. So she'd have been right near, and that's about what the NHL picks, 250, 240, somewhere in that range. So she'd have been right near the end range, the Mr. Irrelevant, like the NFL does. Mm-hmm. So that's the range she was in if you compare it.
Yeah.
For example, Jamie Rivers always talk about him getting picked in like a late round. They didn't have as many teams then, but you look at the number, it would have translated to a 7th round pick now. So our 6th round pick now. So that's kind of the way that's what I'm looking at there. So Ashley, I'm overthinking this.
Oh, you're definitely overthinking it. I'm sure this girl is thrilled. She doesn't feel it's hollow. I mean, no other team has picked a girl. So kudos to them. And I mean, it could turn out to be hollow. Maybe you're right, but we'll see what they do with her.
Okay. So here's my case in point, or what I'm feeling about this. Today on NHL Network, guess who was on NHL Network? The girl that got picked, talking to Darren Pang, right? Mm-hmm. Publicity stunt. That's what it has. That's the hollowness of it, right? You have a pick that would have even. Let's put it this way: she could have been picked in the 1st round. The 1st round picks, the 7 or 8 first round picks, whatever it was. How many teams in the league? Not one of them got interviewed by the NHL Network this year. Not one. Right? So in that case, now you're looking at nothing more than a publicity stunt. And I hope she makes it. I really do. I don't want her to be a publicity stunt. I hope you understand that. Okay.
I got to step in and be the voice of reason, right, Ashley?
Okay.
I'm the voice of reason. That I think you're overthinking. I think there's a whole scouting report on all these players that she just didn't rank as a 1st round draft pick. That I think her skill level and the way they graded her out and the way they charted her out, she charted as a late round draft pick. So I think that put her in a certain segment of, hey, let's take a chance on this person. But I don't think that they went in saying, we're going to make a statement. We're going to draft the first female. I think it came up and it was like, you know what? Here's an opportunity. Let's look at obviously they had some sort of book on her. They knew what she played like. So
yeah. Okay. Fair. That's fair enough. No, that's fair enough. It's just
her out of midair.
It's for me, it's the optics of it. And the feeling of it just kind of twists me a little bit. That's all. And I'm not trying to be cynical. I'm really not. I want this girl I would love to see a girl in the NHL as a goalie or as a defenseman or a forward, whatever position. If she's good enough to play, I want her to play. But I don't want it. I don't want it to be. How do I say this? I don't want it to be just a gesture, right? I don't want it to be a gesture, and that's all. I just don't want it to be a gesture, and that's what it feels like. Chris Shockley says what the female goalie has been done, so it's not like it's the first. Well, it's the first time that one has been drafted.
We talked about that too, yeah. Yeah,
we talked about Marion Rameau, right? We did, and that was, and be honest. Tampa Bay, back then, that was exactly what it was. Tampa Bay was trying to make and they've said it. They've come back in years later and said, that's what we were doing.
Did she actually make her debut against the Blues?
Yes, she's the only game she played. She played one period against the Blues in a exhibition game, right? Yeah. They cut her the very next day, right? They cut her the very next day. So that's why I sit there and go like this. You know how in the NHL they do split squad games? They play like 6 to 8, 6 to 7 to 8 games, but not everybody plays all the games. They'll have a back-to-back game where they have squad A and then squad B. Well, that's what this was one of those squad A, squad B games, right? So I do remember it. I remember it very highly, and I actually was like, "Wow, this is cool." I'm hoping it goes further. And then she dropped off the radar. I mean, she's written a book. She's involved in women's hockey and all of that, and that's great. But it could have been so much more. That's what I'm getting at, Ashley. I think it could be so much more. Does that make a little bit of sense?
I still think you're overthinking it. I think that we really won't know if your cynical opinion of this is going to come into fruition until she plays or doesn't play. If she doesn't play, then you're right. If she does play, then you're wrong. So it's too soon to call it.
Okay. And that's fair enough. And I really, like I do, I want her to succeed. And I do, and I say that. So my only cynicalness is just in the way it transpired, right?
Yeah.
Never a book on this, never something that anybody talked about. This draft, no one ever talks about.
Yeah.
Right. So all of a sudden now we're talking about a draft of 15 and 16-year-olds that no one even cares about, to be honest with you, other than the 15 and 16-year-olds. So, that wasn't bad. I mean, Brock's still having some issues. She went to the minors and played for the Columbus Cottonmouths in Columbus, Georgia. Okay, I didn't know that about Marion Rameau, but I'm glad that Rameau. Yeah, I can't. That's a French name. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Her brother Pascal played for the Blues, so that's the
okay.
reason I know.
I'm gonna read.
Yeah, okay.
And that's probably why she played against the Blues.
Did he play? Did he play while she was with Tampa Bay?
I think he did.
Oh, let's see. That's interesting. That I didn't know. That's an interesting thing. Yes, Tanner says this show is way too hard to find. I know, and I wish I could do something about that. I am trying my butt off. I really am. We are working to make this easier to find. I'm trying to make it easier to get on the website, which I forgot to put on the website today. We are trying. We really are trying. You gotta understand that. We're working hard to make that happen, and Brock keeps going in and out. Figures every time we go on now, Brock's kids want to get on to Netflix.
Of course.
Right? I'm surprised your kids aren't doing the Netflix thing on us today.
No, they're usually on their TikTok pages, but they're fine.
Yeah. I don't get TikTok. I'm not a TikToker. I haven't figured it out.
I don't either. It just keeps
TikTok
them
is only like 5 or 6 minute, it's very short videos, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. But they give kids like fashion ideas. Like my daughter now wants curtain bangs because they're big on TikTok. And I'm like,
Yeah. Ashley, you have a fan.
I love you, right? Tanner.
Oh, you guys are the fans of this show are so connected. I love it. Right. Hey, now that I seen Chris Shockley, it just reminded me something. There's a reason I'm wearing this hat. Do you know why I'm wearing this hat, Ash?
You're going to tell me.
Yes, I am. Team Bravo did it again. The Hockey Warriors, Team Bravo, went to Minnesota and won their division. Yes, they did. Absolutely. This is their second tournament in a row that they've won. They are becoming a force in Warrior hockey. They are a good team. Alpha and Charlie didn't do so hot, but Bravo and Bravo didn't have their star goalie, Tracy Cockrum, because she's on assignment, right? With her job. So she's on assignment. So she wasn't there, but Team Bravo, I talked to Ryan Cook. I'm thinking sometime this week, we might get a couple of Team Bravo on the show, right? Do a little talk with Team Bravo. That'll be fun. That's all you can do 3 minutes now. I just finished watching TikTok. Yeah. Okay. I don't get it. That's me. Well, I will say the one thing that I like watching, and this is just me, and they do little shorter segments, and I guess I don't know if it's shuffle dancing, right? Because believe it or not, I used to do that stuff.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. I used to do shuffle dancing when I was a kid, but I didn't know it was called shuffle dancing. And it's actually how I tore my calf. I was dancing. I was out dancing, doing this shuffle dancing, and came on my calf wrong and popped my calf right off the bone.
Thank you for being my new excuse not to join my daughters.
You have to check it out. Shuffle dancing is it's mainly feet dancing is what it is. Right. And my camera's not good enough to show it, but if I got in a spot where it was, I would still do it. I mean, I could shuffle dance. I can't move the top part of my body, but I can get my feet going. Right. I could get my feet going. I knew how to shuffle dance. That was fun. Chris Shockley says fishing. I'm not sure what he means by that there. Let me see. Hey, Brock, are you back?
I had to restart the modem, folks. I don't know, man.
No problem. It happens.
Yeah.
Tanner says she tore her ACL gardening.
Oh, no. Hey, I got to tell
Tearing
you.
your ACL gardening is a lot.
I got to tell you, Tanner is on her gardening game. She's been posting pictures of her garden, and she's been doing a great job.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them too. Absolutely. So before we get into our main topic, let me go ahead and do the business side of this. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and you're watching the BlueNote Fan Report on YouTube and Twitter. I am joined today by the wonderful Ashley Jones, and from the Rinkside Media, Mr. Brock Banner. We're brought to you today by Rinkside Media. Rinkside Media. Oh, my goodness. I just went totally blank. Mike
Zook Enterprises.
Mike Zook Enterprises, Forrest Grump Enterprises, and War Stories Coffee. Check out stlfanreport.com for more information. I went straight blank. I had Forrest Grump sitting right there on my chin, and I went absolutely blank.
Man,
when you do this live, you can't redo it.
I hear that promo in my sleep, man. I do.
Okay, so I want to get into, before we do the special, because we're still waiting on one person to show up, I want to get into what happened on Twitter today.
Yep.
My buddy, Tom Franklin, who's coming to Hawaii, put a thing out there about the possibility of Dunn going to Seattle and if the Blues should trade him before the pick because he's garnered interest. Right? And I put a post, I just said trade him. And somebody in this panel didn't like that, right? Didn't like it at all. Ryan Green, aloha. Oh, I love this, how he did it. Hello.
I like that, it's sharp.
That was pretty good, Ryan. And you came back and said, well, there you go, blaming Berube for not trading young talent. And then you say trade him away. Let's talk about Vince Dunn. Let's really get into that. I want to know what you think about this, Ashley.
Honestly, if we could trade him away, that would be great to get something from him. But at the same time, if we're just going to get rid of him, it's kind of best to keep him because then he's kind of like the meat shield. We can protect one more person and not have to worry about someone, going that we didn't want picked.
Yeah, but let's say this. First of all, this is one thing I don't like. They don't tell us who's on the protection list, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know that. The other thing that, I want to know whether or not they protect Stanford. I really do. And if they don't, and Sanford's there, would a team like Seattle go after him because he's got some Stanley Cup experience? He's still young. He makes mistakes, but he still has the ability to be that guy, we think. He just might be in the wrong system here. By keeping Dunn there, Dunn is first of all, Dunn right now, if you could pick a player, let's say you're Seattle, the Seattle GM, and I know I could pick Dunn, and there's 4 teams that are willing to trade first-round picks or second-round picks or something else, or another player for Dunn, I'm taking Dunn in a heartbeat because I can build my team up by trading Dunn. Dunn would, in my eyes, if they take Dunn will never see a Seattle Kraken uniform. Right?
So, the thing that got me is we are all ready to ship him out. We're done with him. Goodbye. See ya.
I'm not.
But I'm just telling you, almost every NHL team would say, man, Vince Dunn, I want that guy on my team. So I think he's another guy that's going to go to another team and do great, because we can't coach him. And again, my point is okay, Berube, we go back and forth on him, but he's not good at coaching up players, I don't feel.
That I think Lance, I know he's not here and I don't want to speak for him, but I think Lance would agree with you on that. Ashley, you're, and I don't take this in a negative way. You're kind of one of those fans that this is a question I want to hear from you. Cause I know that prior to this show, you focused only on the Blues. You weren't a hockey fan. You know what I mean? You didn't watch the league all the time. You focused mainly on the Blues. Well, with that being the case, what do you see here? Do you see a case of here's a player we can't coach up, or do you see something different?
Oh, it's totally a player that we can't coach up. I think that Berube has a really hard time, and not just with the Blues when he was with Philadelphia, coaching somebody that doesn't fit the mold of his system, that he just doesn't seem to be able to make work for all the pieces of his puzzle. It's one of Berube's downfalls. And unfortunately, yes, Dunn is young and he's got a lot of talent, but because he doesn't fit the system 100% all the time, his best option is to be traded or let be taken.
Reminiscent of Robbie Fabry, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Or even better yet, Joel Edmondson, who is on the ice right now when nobody else is.
Yeah. Well, one guy brought up a comment. He said that if Vince Dunn played for the Vegas or Avalanche or Tampa Bay, he'd be a top 15 defenseman. And that blew me away. I was like,
a top what?
Top 15 defenseman in the league.
No, he wouldn't be a top 15.
I'd say top 25.
Did you hear that?
Top 30, maybe. I think maybe top 30, but I think he's still on a bottom six. I think he's still on but here's the thing. I don't think he's in a top 2 pairing. I don't think he's in a top pairing, right? And that's where, to me, where your top, you look at it, 30 teams, that's 60 guys.
Sure.
If he's not going to be in a top pairing, how can he even be in the top 60 guys? 62 guys, because there's 31 teams. So that's kind of something that would put me off there. Would Hoffman be one of those people that can't fit the mold into his system? Actually, yes and no. Hoffman fits the mold. You just don't want him to. Because when Hoffman played second line minutes and top line power play, he scored goals.
He did good.
He succeeded.
Yeah.
He was that guy. He was a very good, very strong, very viable piece to the puzzle, right? I absolutely believe that. So I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that Hoffman fit. It was Berube's choice not to put him in the place where he fit best. And I'm sorry. Look, I know everybody's going to sit here and go, there goes Benson hating on Berube again. Come on, guy. Why do you hate Berube so much? I don't hate Berube. I don't. I really don't. From day one, though, Ashley, you remember when this show was just a variety type show, and I would call him Booberry, right?
Yes.
Why did I call him Booberry? Because he did the same things over and over and over again. There was never this. The team, we were losing games late. We would give up late leads. We would have the 2-0 lead. 2-0. You remember what I called it? When they had it, it was the insurmountable 2-goal lead. When we had it, it was the dreaded 2-goal lead.
Yep.
Right? And it just seemed to happen and happen and happen, and it never changed. Well, I don't, and I know what he has said this a couple of times, and I'm trying to keep this from going. Oh my goodness, look who's here. Snow cone. You know what, Jordan? That's absolutely great. Today's your day and you get to enjoy it. And it's also somebody else's day. Why do you? I'm not going to answer that one. Today, I'm going to stop here and just put a little pause. Today's a very special day. Jordan York graduated high school on Saturday, and today she turns 18 years old. She's not the only one who has a birthday today. Gianna LaGrasso turns 13. She's finally a teenager. Dane and Gianna, under her mom, have been playing the contest, and they played up until the Blues were out, and they did really good, and they won a puck in the first month. So they follow the show. They really like it. And, you know, I know how everybody feels about my singing. I absolutely do.
Do you really know? No, you're going to do it. If you knew, you wouldn't sing.
But you know what? Think about this. Think about this. If it's that bad, why do they keep tuning in to hear it when they know? Or better yet, why do they keep telling me it's their birthday?
Because it's called Trainwreck TV.
Well, it might be Trainwreck TV, but I have to do this. I absolutely do. Guy, I haven't brought my earplugs yet. Well, you know, you may or may not need them, and that's up to you. But for me, to Gianna, Jordan, and everyone else, including Prince, having a heavenly birthday, or wherever you may think he goes.
Just say it.
I say
Mike Madonna as well.
Oh, Mike Madonna. There we go. A hockey one. I like that. I say happy birthday to you all. Oh, you know what? I got to go back. I screwed up already. Yeah, I know.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, I know.
Wouldn't be the Blue Note Fan Report without issues.
Yeah. There's one button that if I don't press it, nothing happens. And I forgot to do that. And I can't go back to it and do it. So I have to do it this way. So let me now say to all of you, happy birthday.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear Gianna and Jordan. Happy birthday to you.
From old friends and new. May good luck go with you. And happiness too.
Okay. Should have played that before I tried it. But whatever, it was worth it. Happy birthday, guys. I love all of you, and I think it's more fun that I do something like that than not. And that's just what makes it all. My goodness. I keep having dreams I'm late for school. Oh, the daily I messed up again. Thank you so much. Oh, Nevy Blue, I forgot. Cats service dog, Princess Nevy Blue. I forgot about that. I just wanted you to know how that I think of you guys, and I appreciate you guys all. So as we're doing that, let's get back into the Dunn thing. I think that we're on to something here. Brock, what do you think? What is the solution to this?
Well,
what is
I guess everyone's going to say the Blues needs this year are a big defenseman or an offensive defenseman. They really need to show up the defense. I'm like, wait a minute, we have Vince Dunn. Like, is he chopped liver? I mean, what's the deal? So to me, it's a kind of a conflicting report. Like we say we need defensive help, but we got a guy that we just kind of buried. And I've been saying on the line, just like the guy got hit by the mafia, also he just disappeared and you just never seen him again. And you're like, well, what happened? He was eligible to play and he just didn't play. So to me, that just doesn't bode well for him at all. But again, is that more of an indictment of him or an indictment of Craig Berube? And I think that's where you're going to get difference of opinion, because I think it's more Berube than him. But again, there are people who make the point that the player has to respond to the coaching. The player has to ultimately, take what his skill level and apply it to a game situation. And Dunn just hasn't been consistent in that regard this season. So You know, I know I'm not answering the question, but it's very intriguing because you can see both angles. If you let him go, he's going to be a star somewhere else. If you keep him, you're like, man, are we holding on to dead weight? I don't know.
Ashley?
I agree with Brock, strangely enough, on some of those points. Really, it can't be put on any one person because sometimes there's chemistry between, line mates, coaches, and then sometimes it's just friction. And I wouldn't put all the blame on Dunn or necessarily on Berube. They just probably don't mesh well, and he would fit better with any other team. And it would be more, do we want to use him as a meat shield so that we know that this is who's for sure being taken, or do we want to trade him to get something but then might have to lose somebody that we might not want to lose?
But let me ask this, Guy. Let me ask you: is the fact that we should not keep him, is that not even part of the discussion?
Well, first of all, you can only knowing the way the expansion draft is, you can either protect 10 players or 8 players. If you protect 10, you can only protect 3 defensemen.
Yep.
If you protect 8, you can protect 4 defensemen. So if you decide that you want to protect Dunn, now think about, first of all, would you protect? So the 3 defensemen that, in my mind, you're protecting no matter what are Falk, Parayko, and Krug. You're protecting those 3 no matter what. So now you have left Scandella, Dunn,
Mikula,
and Bortuzzo.
Oh, Bortuzzo, okay.
Okay, so those are the 3 you have left. Would you protect Dunn over Scandella? I probably wouldn't. I would, if I'm going to go the 4 route, I'm protecting Scandella. So Dunn's still the odd man out here, right? So looking at that, I know my things, and then if you go that 4-person route, you also are now unprotecting 3 more forwards. And now you could be unprotecting somebody like Barbashev or Thomas or better
Sundqvist.
yet, Sundqvist, right? Yeah, right there. So, and yes, she did. She did say meat shield, and I was like, I'm not touching that one.
I heard it too, but
I wasn't touching that one, my friends. I wasn't touching that one. I just, first of all, I'm trying to step off Berube. I'm working on an article. Me and E are working on an article about Berube, right? And I don't want to get too much because then I give up the article, but it's simply this for me. Is Berube the right coach for the current St. Louis Blues?
You know what?
Good question.
Let me tell you this. They were asking that same question in Montreal, Canada, about their current coach who is currently playing and is about to sweep possibly the Jets. Exact same thing. Exact.
Well, yeah, and not only that, he's the exact same thing.
He's an interim. He's an interim.
He's an interim. He's in the same position that Berube was in 19. Is Berube in 19? Was Berube the right guy to coach this team? Yes, he was. Up until the bubble, he was too. But I started thinking about that. No, I started thinking about that, and I started remembering, well, wait a minute. Let me think about this a little bit. Prior to the bubble, Colorado had picked up 8 points on the Blues. At one time, we were 10 points up on them. And going into the bubble, we were only 2, and they had a game in hand. They had really started picking it up where the Blues were starting to go do like this, right? That coaching that had and this is not on the coach. And I'm going to say this right here and right now. This is not on the coach. The Bouwmeester incident affected this team heavily affected this team. And the fact that they had to play the next night after seeing that and some of that, this is when those losses started to mount up in that month, because it was about a month. It happened on February 11th. We played the last game on March 11th. I think I got those dates right. I think it was February 11th, and I think for the York family, that's a very significant date. So that's why I'm pretty sure I know it. In that month, dun, 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 we started doing this. You started seeing, I think in that month, and I got to go, I don't remember completely, but in that month was the first time we lost 3 games in a row. Right? There were some things going on there. When we hit the bubble, or when we hit the pause, right? The focus completely shifted over to Bouwmeester, right? If you remember, that focus started shifting to Bouwmeester. Is he okay? What's he doing? He had moved his family already, right? That was posted in the lounge. There was a guy that moved him, and he was talking about it. There was a lot of things that shifted to, and I'm wondering what mentally happened during the bubble that caused this team to collapse in the bubble, and they did. Now, you want to talk about?
You know what? Maybe they lost respect for Berube because he was too hardcore, and he should have been a little bit more sensitive to what was going on.
You may have hit it right on the nail, because you go from February 11th, and I don't remember the record off the bat, from February 11th to today, in counting the playoffs, he's under 500. In the playoffs, you want to know what his record is? This wasn't astounding to me when I realized what his record was. It was 2-10-1. 2-10-1 in the playoffs. How important was that 1/10 of a second against the Avalanche in game one of the bubble?
Against Nazem Kadri, who ended up becoming another key figure in the playoffs that particular year. He scored that goal.
Yeah. So that's so when you think about, when you look at that, right? Now something in my mind is clicking. I wrote, and I'm going to stand behind this article. I wrote the Berube being, first of all, I'm mad at myself for changing the title because I was getting so torn up. But I said, this is Berube's toughest test. The title of the article was, is this Berube's toughest test? And is he under a bit of a gun? Now, too many people took that to should he be fired? No, that's not what I meant. I meant that this season, with everything on him, especially after the bubble and all of that, was there so much pressure on him that he was going to collapse? And in my mind, he did. In my mind, he did. Now, okay, what if Petro was seeing a change in Berube that he didn't like? Maybe the reason he was looking at other teams. That's legitimate. Thank you. You just added another paragraph to my article. But so now do you guys see the mind of Guy? Where I'm going with this? It's not that I don't like Berube.
Let me ask you this. So you're saying the cancer in the locker room is the coach?
I'm saying that it's quite possible.
Just say it, man. Just come out.
Because you don't know. You know why I won't say that? Because I'm not in the locker room to know. And I'm not going to make a statement of fact that I can't back up.
Okay, but that's a big statement to make. That the coach.
It is a big statement to make. And I can say possible, but I can't sit there and say, yes, that's where it is. But there are some signs. And you know what? If any part of this conversation gets out, I think this is an important. There are some signs that you can go back to, and everyone points to the bubble. No one goes back to Bouwmeester. I'm going back to Bouwmeester because I was looking at Jordan's comment there for a second. It kind of threw me for a turn. Because if you take that moment in time and freeze it and then say, okay, everything past this didn't happen. Let's look at what happened forward. Wow. Why is this guy still coaching? You know what? Wow. Look at these numbers. 2-10-1. 2-10-1. Show me another coach. Show me another coach that has that record in the playoffs that stayed around. And I can only think of one in Blues history. And it just popped to me. As I said that statement, it popped to me. I can think of one that came close to that. Not dead on, but close to that.
Who?
Hitchcock.
Okay.
Hitchcock. He didn't make it out of the second round until 16. And I think he started coaching in 10 or 11, if I remember right. I might be a little off, but
sure.
I know he coached for like 6 or 7 years, if I'm right. Ashley, you might have that a little bit better than me.
I think you're about right.
Yeah. So he didn't make that second round. So he had all these first round losses, right? And he says he's even harder than me. He says he's just basking in the 19th. Well, the fans, the fans are still basking in the 19. Ryan Green, I was there at Bouwmeester's last game. Ryan, were you at are you saying you were at Anaheim when that happened? Is that what you're saying, bud? Or are you talking about here in St. Louis before he had the incident?
Yeah.
Right. I know. I want to know. I want to know, because if you were there in Anaheim when it happened, we want to bring you on and talk about it. Absolutely. Because so for me, I didn't realize what was going on. I was at an appointment during that game. And when I came out, I saw the game was still on pause. I didn't know what was going on. I found out later what had happened. So, but when it comes down to it right now, if you want to know who I'm glad I'm not, I am so glad I'm not Armstrong right now. Because think about, I remember finding out, okay, this was, I don't want to get into that one. That's too hard for me there. This, for me, with Armstrong, he's at a crossroads. He's at a turning point. He's at that moment where he's at that aha moment. Okay, Ryan, can we set up a show, and you can get a hold of me on Facebook, set up a show where you come on and we talk to you about that. Or maybe we'll do a private interview. I'd love Brock to maybe write a story about that.
Hey, you know what? Connected to that,
yeah, bud.
One of our contributors, Caitlin, who is she lives out in Anaheim.
Yeah,
her father is, I think, like the police or the fire chief for Anaheim, and probably has a lot of insight. I might see if she has any insight. That'd be a neat little show to.
Yeah, see if we could get one of the paramedics.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, reach out because for me, I think I'm starting to win some people over into my thought process. Because for me, I look at that as a watershed moment. And originally I was just looking at the bubble. I was blinded by my own, like my own stats. I was blinded by them. And then when I removed my blinders, and I said, well, what if you go further back? Was it really the bubble? And I started remembering how fast Colorado was coming up, right? And how Colorado was so upset that we got the number 1 seed because they felt they would have earned it if they got to play that one more game. And the last game of that season was supposed to be St. Louis and Colorado in Colorado.
Yeah.
Right. There was a lot going on there. I do remember that. I do remember that. And I'll do. So E says, Crap may have happened on the bench with Bouwmeester incident, but that's part of life. You have to work past it. You know what? I love you to death. I'm going to disagree with you here because I was in a profession where you saw people go down, and I'm telling you, it affects you. It affects you in so many different ways, right?
So, well, wait a minute. Let me stop you on that. Let me ask you that. Are you okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so when John Tavares got knocked out, that was a kind of freak accident, freak hit to the head. The players that just shut down, they didn't oh my God, we can't play. John Tavares. I think that, I don't disagree with what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I do not want to come across being insensitive at any way, shape, or form.
No.
But the fact is, they see him getting caught off, obviously they're concerned, but they still got to go back and finish. Did they finish that game, or that game get called right at that moment? I don't remember.
Okay, so in the Bouwmeester, it was called immediately. Well, it wasn't called immediately, but you knew it wasn't getting played. In fact, I got some real close.
Restart play. In other words, replay.
No, they never restarted play.
Okay.
They never restarted play. So I did the interview with Darren Pang, and we talked about that. And Pang said something in that interview that really struck me, and that's what just struck me when E made that statement. He was between the benches when this happened. His quote to me was, "I thought we lost him." That's the difference here. Bouwmeester clinically died on the bench. His teammates saw that.
Okay.
His teammate.
No. Stop you there, though. I think that you're adding a little extra dramatics to it. Okay.
No, I'm not.
I get it.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, this. Go watch the interview with Miller.
You don't need to say. I'm just saying that, when you describe it like that, it's like he was on near death. I get it. There was fast acting, medical care right on the spot. They handled the situation, but I think maybe it's overstated to say he was dead for a minute or whatever. I don't know. I don't know that that's responsible, Guy. I'm just saying.
When you have to restart someone's heart, that's bringing them back to life, wouldn't you say? You know what? I see Ashley. I want Ashley to jump in on this one.
I'm seeing this comment from Chris Shockley, and I think that he might be onto something. He said, "I don't know if it's my military mind, but this year they should be over it. He is fine." I agree with that. I think that we're putting too much pressure on it. It's not necessarily the Bouwmeester situation. It's how it was handled that we're talking about. So I think that needs to be clear. It's not that they're still upset about Bouwmeester. They might be. It's their friend and he can't play the sport anymore. But I don't think that has any weight on what's going on now and the troubles that are going on now, unless it created friction with the players and the coach.
Yes, and that's where I think you're at. That's where I think I'm trying to get at. First of all, I know it affected the players, period. There's no way it didn't. There's no way. So I have strong feelings about the minute someone that you care about goes down, and it's going to affect you even if they love that image of what happens, will live on, like when my grandpa was in his.
Sure.
Yeah,
I get that. I totally get that. I totally don't. I don't by any means want to be insensitive about the situation.
No.
But again, there were professional medics right there on the scene.
Yes.
He had immediate to the top level care an athlete could have gotten. It wasn't like he had this happen underneath an overpass in St. Louis City. He had access to all the top care. And you're right. The team's fine. I think they missed the Iron Man, the fact that he played 700 freaking games in a row. That's what they missed.
Yeah, well, they missed that. They missed his toughness. They missed his leadership. They missed the fact that this guy had a hurt hip and couldn't go to his left, but still came out every night and played. Right? Panger said that in the interview too. So okay. So I guess maybe I got off track a little bit and I want to come back. What I'm saying is that's a watershed moment for how this team has reacted since then. I'm not saying that it's affected the team now, but like Ashley said, something happened that this team is not recovered from. Right. And okay, if you want to look at the record, the team is not recovered record-wise.
But see, I'm looking at veterans like David Prime, Ryan O'Reilly, even Braden Chen on a down year. These guys aren't complaining about Berube. There's not a whisper campaign going on about how unhappy they are in St. Louis. I mean,
they're not complaining about Berube, at least not to us. Mm-hmm. Well, they're not. They're not complaining, and I'm going to put the asterisk on that or the moniker on that. At least not to us. There's a lot we don't know. Right.
But my point being is when they start complaining, word gets around and eventually it gets out,
Mm-hmm. Right. And so I guess I've touched a hot button and I didn't mean to do that. Boy, I'm doing that a lot lately here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Again, I really didn't want to.
No. But what I'm getting at is it feels like Berube's leadership in the locker room has gone away. That's what it feels like to me. Boy, man, we hit an hour fast, didn't we?
Yeah.
Wow.
My son's drink
This is something to carry on for. We can probably carry this on Wednesday. Ryan's going to send me a message. We'll talk to Ryan and try and get a little more done. Ashley, did you have a good time today?
Oh yeah, this was really fun.
Right. I hope you didn't say that sarcastically.
No, not sarcastically.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you for all you do. We really, really, really appreciate what you do for the BlueNote Fan Report. And since you found the show a little over a year and a half ago, through Roland, you have been a staunch supporter, and I greatly appreciate that. And I mean that from the get-go, right?
Well, I appreciate you guys because even though I don't necessarily talk about my personal issues. Sometimes a bad day, I come home and you guys are on there arguing about hockey, and that makes my day because you guys are making me laugh the whole time. So this show helps me too.
Yeah, well, we see that's what the show's all about. We're about being able, and a lot of people, and I want to say something because I brought this up to Chris Kerber when I talked to Chris Kerber. Him and Joey get into it with each other on the air, right? And it's not an act. It's just sometimes you get on each other, but you still respect each other. And that's what Kerber told me. And that's the way it is with Brock. We will get on each other. We get on each other. And if you think it's for an act, you should hear some of our other phone conversations, right? If we were girls, we'd be hanging up on each other. Click, 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 click.
But you know what, though? What happens is like I push guy pushes me. And then because we know, and to be honest with you, we know that we have to answer to you, Ashley. And if like we're doing stuff that's not right, you're gonna let us know. No, but I'm saying like you're gonna let us know, hey, this isn't the side I want. This isn't the type of stuff I want to see. So like your input really means a lot. And again, we know that no matter what we do, no matter how jokey around we get to be, it's like we got to face the critics. That's you guys. And for you to be with us after all this time. Because we've been stupid. We've done dumb things. We have stupid arguments. We've said dumb things. But you know what? We love it. We have a passion for it. So
absolutely.
We love you guys, man.
Yep. So, hey, everybody. I want you to know for the rest of this week, with the exception of tomorrow, the show will be at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Now, I want you to understand there could be changes to that last minute due to some of the things I have going on for a surprise or something special that I have that I want to be able to announce in the next week or so. Something that we're working on. So if you get a message last minute that the show is canceled, I do apologize. We're going to try and do it every day at 8 p.m.
Sure.
Just, we're going to try and keep that. However, I think going forward, we're going to look at doing maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And give some break here, and especially as the playoffs are going to kind of break off a little bit and not be. And when you get into the Stanley Cup Finals, it's every other day. So, you know, we might break down. So I want everyone to understand that right now on YouTube, you can find us on my YouTube channel, the Blue Note Fan Report, where I originally started, and I'm at 601 subscribers. Tell all your friends to like and subscribe the channel. And you'll find us there, or you can find me on Twitter on any one of my 3 accounts. HISTL Blues Fan. I like how Ashley raises her head when I said that. HISTL Blues Fan, Blue Note Report, or STL Fan Report. Those are the places you can find it. As soon as Facebook lets me out of the live jail, we'll go back, but we're going to play it. It will not get shared as many groups. It's going to get shared in 4 or 5 groups. I'll talk to Ashley, and we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to overshare it. We're not going to do that anymore. If you want us, you're going to have to, you know, you always have YouTube. You're always going to find us on YouTube. And you can always go back and watch it on YouTube. Always, right? Guy, where's my birthday present? Well, I'll talk to your mom about that in a little bit. How's that? I'll talk to your mom about that. I think Brock and Ashley both know where your birthday present is. So, hey, everybody, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan.
Well,
go ahead, Brock.
I was going to say one thing. I was going to folks, just not to give away anything, but if you know of a business or you got friends or you have your own business and want to do some advertising for us, if you got your own home-based business, let's say you make crafts or do something, hey, our rates are real cheap, and we'll be talking a lot about that over the summer because we want to grow the show. We want to involve more people and give you guys more opportunity to participate in the show. So, again, if it's your home-based business, we'd love to talk with you about a small package to help you get your name out there a little bit. So that's coming up in the over the summer for sure.
Right. Absolutely. I will make a deal. I'll make a deal with you. I'll make a deal where you get free advertising and you give me a kickback. I'll do that. I always will. We'll help you. We'll help you anytime you want. Absolutely. So, hey, everybody, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for Ashley Jones from STLFanReport.com and Brock Banner from Rinkside Media, the hockey writers, and far and above most, STLFanReport.com, saying aloha, mahalo, and I cannot wait to see you on Wednesday, 8 p.m. CST on the Blue Note Fan Report. Aloha. Happy birthday, Jordan and Gianna.
Happy birthday, Jordan.